Hello, my name is Goatboy Nyko. I am a Iron Man player on the game Hypixel Skyblock, and I am here to showcase a cheese method I've been using for about a year now to do Blaze Slayer. As you could see, I am not exactly the most powerful geared person, by any means. My Crimson is fairly bad, and my various equipment sets are not the best. I do have a Valkyrie Together experience, but that is pretty much the extent of my gear. The main part of this cheese method is utilizing Lonesome Miner to gain extra stats while in Crystal Hallows. Now, the trick is with this cheese method is we are going to construct a cheese spot in a specific area under the entrance to Goblin Magma Fields. And it involves building this emerald patch here, this little L shape. You want to start your cheese spot 3 that way, 1 up from the thing of this, like that. If the emerald isn't there, it's usually because there is a structure. I will divulge a bit more on that in a minute. I have already prerequisitely gathered the XP from Smoldering Tomb, which I have an NU button to warp for, having the necessary things for this. Also, I have pet rules for hooking with Ammonite, but not when I have Mithril Golem equipped. Whichever pet you like to use, I use Mithril Golem. It's better than G-Drag till like about 500 mil bank for specifically this method, but yeah. Another thing is you are going to want to have a decent amount of fishing level to be able to use a decent fishing rod. Like, I recommend at least fishing level 27 before you do this, but that's just a weird prerequisite of being able to fish up lava blazes more reliably. These things only require fishing level 21. Now, to explain the cheese spot in general. Basically, it's like your typical back when we put them in the hole in the Crimson Isles, but they removed that hole, I think. This method is slightly different, where we make our own hole in the Crystal Hallows. And how this works is we stab the boss while it's in there, and the minis will stay in this hole. The skeleton one will get suffocated in the wall and usually die quite fast. It's difficult to hit it while it's in the wall, but it's fine. Because of the fact that this is all stone, and this is too far away, fire pillars will not spawn, so you do not need to wither cloak. This is a key factor of the cheese spot. Also, that when you crouch over this, like you usually do with any cheese spot in Crimson Isles, and it will prevent the fire pits because they will spawn down there. Typically, your boss will not get picked up by your mods, given how Crystal Hallows doesn't really like the boss overlay very much. Just get used to that. It happens quite frequently. Ideally, you want to gather around 35,000 XP towards spawning your tier 4, or around 1,000 off spawning. That way, when you fish up a lava blaze, killing it will give enough XP to spawn from that single lava blaze, which is a key factor for this. To also mention the fact that if you have a SkySills equipment hotkey, that might come in useful depending on how much stats you have. If you have less than 245 true defense, you are probably gonna want to use a ice wisp pot to get that true defense up to an adequate amount. Just so you don't die to any of this. Your vitality stat is also probably going to be quite high. Now, for the second set of minis, you can't hit them out of this. You have to cloak and then drop in and then drop back out to shove these with a skeleton in the wall so you can actually hit the other mini. Now, for this section, if you are lacking in vitality, you can use equipment and swap to a Reaper Mask, which will drastically improve your survivability for the final phase. You can do this while the mini bosses are alive, and it makes it significantly more reliable and more survivable. Now, if you have enough true defense and vitality base, you'll just be able to tank through this while hitting the daggers, switching attunements, doing other stuff. It tends to result in... I have slow kills. I can get, like, around... Yeah, like... That's a bit slower because of the demonstration, but I can get around 110-second kills reliably if I'm actually trying. It's very slow for me, obviously, because I have bad gear, because I'm an Iron Man player, and I don't do enough Kudra. But the gist of it is, if you can if you can fish, you can hook a blaze in, build the cheap spot here, stab the boss like this, and you can do this with tier 1 daggers. If you have good gear, if you have good crimson, you can do this with tier 1 daggers. If you have decent daggers and enough raw stats, you can swap out the sorrow chestplate and have full, like, 3/4 crimson with the warden, and you can eviscerate your bosses, especially if you have better equipment, if you have G-Drag. I only have my G-Drag isn't leveled up, and I don't have the bank because I can't really mine that well, because I have a lot of other things I do. I have done this till Blaze Slayer 7. If I PV myself, I have done this cheese spot for a good amount of time. I've been doing it on and off, every now and again, as per Iron Man players having a lot of tier 1 kills, because making the daggers is arse. But once you have the tier 1 daggers, you can immediately kill tier 3s in here. You don't have to do tier 4s, you can just kill tier 3s in here, till you have the necessary things to craft tier 2 daggers. And then kill tier 2s, or to 4s or whatever, in here, and it'll... Yeah. It's quite a nice method. Yes, I am talking a whole bunch to pad the video out to 8 minutes, even though I don't get ad revenue. Yes, I am doing this. I don't make videos too often, but I will occasionally make a guide like this if you would like to see more. It's kind of a weird method. If you hear a bird in the background, I apologize. I cannot control when the bird chirps. But yeah. If you have any questions about how this method works, you can ask in the comments. Regarding the fire pits, again, just crouch over the spot and keep stabbing. If you are taking a bot of damage, just panic cloak. Guy is investigating my cheese spot. Hello? He's probably a bit confused. I'm making vid on blaze cheese. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments and I will divulge them. The fire pillars don't spawn because there's not enough room, and standing crouching above this prevents the fire pits. So that is pretty much the prerequisite of the thing. If you have watched till this far and you've watched me kill and stab, you can gather your XP in Crimson Isles, or just by raw fishing if you want. That tends to be how the method works. But yeah, I'm going to end the video now. I'm padding for excess padding. I like rambling. Sorry. You could subscribe if you want. You can like the video if you want. I don't make videos too often, but it would be very much appreciated. Thank you for watching. I hope this guide to cheesing Blaze Slayer slightly slower than it takes to stab it in Crimson Isles, but making it a complete joke, helps you a lot as an early game player, or a mid game player, or early into Blaze Slayer. You know what I mean.